have a lot more class time here, but I have a lot more like outside of classwork to do back home. So I'll generally spend like more hours walking to campus here and like spending time in class. Whereas back home I'd spend a lot of time like in the library.
Well, that really depends on like what I'm doing, like kind of like what stage of life, I guess. Like, you know, like when I was in high school, like that was so different than being in college. And I guess I can compare it to like when I was but that's also the American College of Norway, so like not really like 100% Norwegian, but that was in Norway, in like a really small town, like much smaller than Corvallis.
So I try to visit my mom every 2 weeks. So my routine is more towards vacation. Just spending more time with my mom, spending time with family because family is very important to me. So there's no set routine. The routine is based on what my mom needs. Any needs that she needs, I try to meet.
I get talked to about kangaroos a lot. I don't know, I don't really get like stereotypes, but I do get like a lot of weird questions. Like one girl asked me the other day how I was like adapting to speaking English here. And I'm like, we speak English in Australia. So that sort of thing.
I actually learned something yesterday, because meal prepping, I always thought that that was just like getting a meal ready for like, I don't know, like the same day or like whatever. But apparently that's like making like, or like everything at the same time for like the rest of your week kind of thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Like I've never done that ever. Like my family's never done that ever. But yeah, I was talking to like this person in my class, and she was like, yeah, like half of like the people I live with right now, like we do that. We meal prep like once a week, just like make all the meals for the rest of the week.
So my occurrence of discrimination through my lens is not as much occurring throughout Oregon State, being currently at Oregon State. But there is one instance where it really triggered me or pushed my buttons, where, you know, when an individual states that you're able to tell an Asian just by what they look like, that really triggers me because there's more Asiatic diversity than just one depiction. And people need to stand up for that and voice that opinion to tell people that that is not okay. Definitely be more aware and just be less ignorant of the fact that there's diversity on campus and different people that exist on campus, that you need to be a little more careful of what you kind of state walking around.
Nobody really engages too much unless I usually engage with them. So they feel like maybe awkward to talk to, like to start some conversation with me or something like that. But once people get to know me, it's usually free, like hang out, all that stuff, and finally realize that I'm like pretty cool to hang out with or something, you know, but.
It's been pretty easy for me, really. Like, everyone's super friendly. I don't know, like, I've heard also it's like an Oregon thing that everyone's like really friendly. But also, like, because obviously I'm foreign, I think people are like excited to like meet someone that's not from the United States. So then, like, I don't know, I find it really easy to like make friends, and like I haven't really been homesick yet, so that's good.
I work with diversity, cultural engagement. So I deal in day-to-day constantly with different cultures, and there is so many diversity, and we have 8 dedicated cultural resource centers, and each has their own unique cultures within it. Just by interacting with different individuals, you be more perceptive and more understanding of different cultures, because being part of Oregon State means that you're interacting with people, maybe even small cities at Oregon State. I mean, Oregon, yeah, the state of Oregon. And again, I think it really requires being open-minded and willing to listen to stories that people don't typically listen to, and interact with people that you might not be comfortable with. I think once we're past that barrier and tolerance of getting used to interacting with different people, then we're all humans, right? We're humans, so let's just talk with people with a human understanding that let's people talk. No labels, no nothing, just talk.
Maybe like a little bit, just because like I hate that people like comment like, I don't know, about my accent and stuff, and just like I feel like they would like probably treat me different if they knew. I don't know. It's like it's kind of like this weird like I feel like they change from like before they know that I'm an international student, and then after they usually like get really excited though, so that's like a good like change. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes they think I'm like not as smart just because like, oh, like I don't really know how to like pronounce this word. It doesn't mean that I don't know what it means, you know? So like that's one thing, but it doesn't happen that often. So I feel like usually it's like not a problem at all. And like I haven't really experienced anything that's like bad. Like, yeah, like it's been good.
I don't know, well, there's like definitely a lot of similarities. I would say like personally for me, like my mum is German, so I have like a lot of like German heritage that like I don't know, I get to do back home. Like I eat a lot of different foods. I'm like constantly around, like my mum is like speaking German to my relatives and stuff like that. So that's something that I don't really encounter here. Like it's mostly just all English speaking or like some Spanish and stuff like that, but yeah.
For me, being from like a country that's like used to like travel a lot, and like we have to learn English from like almost kindergarten. So like it wasn't really that much of like a difference, especially because like it's like the Western world, like Norway, being a part of like Scandinavia, it's like the Western culture. So like the culture and like everything like big, like it wasn't like a big difference like that. It's just like minor stuff that like I noticed like from time to time. But like what did you notice when you first got here? For example, like the food is like a little bit different, but not a lot. And like yeah, like how people dress is not like a big difference, but like I noticed it. Like basketball shorts, like I've seriously like never seen like a person that's not a basketball player wearing a basketball short. So that's like, yeah, one thing. And one big difference though, is like, because you guys don't use like the metric system, so that was actually really difficult for me to like get used to. Like, well, I guess I'm not used to it still.
Given the fact that I lived with my mom for 18 years before I went to Oregon State, it was a new culture, new surrounding. Class sizes are large, big, and huge. I think just trying to fit in, trying to find a community was definitely difficult because you're trying to dabble with, financial, where are you gonna live, where are you gonna eat, how are you gonna maintain communication with family. So there's a lot of struggles to deal with. But on hindsight, I'm thankful and appreciative of all the mentors, all the people I met, all the friends I've developed, all the networks that I have, all the opportunities, internships that has built my experience more holistically at Oregon State than I realized in the beginning.
It's one of like my sister schools, so I'm doing like the exchange program. And I don't know, when I went into like the exchange office to meet with my coordinator, he was like, where do you want to go? And I was kind of really indecisive. I didn't really know. And he was like, tell me why you would want to go to like the US versus like Europe. And so I told him, and he was like, from what you're saying, I think that you should go to the US because like I've never been here before, something totally different to me. I never really saw myself living here in the future, but now that I'm here, I definitely could. And yeah, I don't know, Oregon just seemed like a really cool place, super chill, laid back, which is definitely more my style.
So Oregon State, coming in, I had a little knowledge. My cousin said there was a lot of medical research opportunities here. So that was one lens that I had coming in at Oregon State University. Also, I knew that there was diversity on campus. I wanted to be more knowledgeable of the different individuals that I might interact in the future beyond the scope of Oregon State University. And also, I knew that I needed to go to a university because I knew that there's much more opportunities that I will have beyond the scope just of high school. The resources are unlimited, just how you find them, how you reach out to the people and use the resources on campus.
People ask me that all the time, and I always have to say the same thing, that I actually don't really know. Because like, I like being spontaneous, and like, I was just like, I just want to go to like States. I don't know where I want to go, but I don't want to go to like a big city. I know that I want to go to like a small college town. So I was like, just trying to find a place. I use collegeboard.com, just like put some criteria in there, and yeah, it just popped up. I got like 4 other hits too, and I was like, this is it. This is like the best, definitely the best choice. And then I realized after that OSU actually has like a really good design program. So that was just like a happy coincidence, I guess.
I chose Oregon State because it has a really good engineering program, and I was deciding between Portland and Oregon State, but Oregon State has the industrial engineering and manufacturing engineering, and it's also and plus it's diverse, very diverse. You know, the town is very respected for diversity. So there's not much discrimination around here. And so that's one of the reasons I also chose Oregon State was I thought it would be easier to blend in to be amongst people who accepted me and who I am.